So I welcome Jeff.
Hi everyone. Namaste.
I can't see.
You can't see me?
Yeah, I can't see you. You need to turn on your camera. I think so.
Okay, sorry, I'm new to this. Start
Mhm.
video.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, can you see me?
Hi.
Let me change my
Hello, good morning.
light in my eyes. Okay.
Uh,
Hi
all
everyone.
right. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Zach. Good morning, Jeff, and good evening for people who have joined from India. I'm Ajay, founder of this group, and I take a lot of privilege to welcome our esteemed guest, Jeff. I got an opportunity to meet him in person during, 4th July holidays, and what a cool person he is. So, without further delay, I would like to welcome him to this beautiful platform of Friends of India and America Online Personality Development Group. And I'm so excited to have him here on this platform and to give a little bit back about background. I was going through his profile. He's born here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he holds a master's degree in mechanical engineering from University of Cincinnati, one of the best university in Cincinnati. And he has got a PhD. He has got a BS, Bachelor's of Science degree in physics from Thomas More College, and currently he's owning. He's a business head at Quest Global. He's a business head of North America, and he's a president of that company. And Jeff is responsible for hiring, mentoring people, and developing strategic client partnership in North America, and he brings a lot of experience of 34 years of experience altogether in operations, sales, and engineering. He has started his career from G Aviations, so he has a lot to share with us. And the most important thing which stayed with me after meeting Jeff is his humbleness, his kindness, and I remember when I meet my family in India, they are, or Indian tradition, they talk about how much money I'm making and all things. But this guy is talking about do personal development, read this book, read that book. So I was pretty impressed, and that is where we decided that one day, we will be having him here on this platform. And I'm really thankful to Jeff. So without further delay, I would like to pass the control to Jeff so that we are more enlightened and we are excited to hear from him. Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Ajay. What a pleasure to be with all of you. I think there is no greater goal that anyone can have in life than to continue to evolve as a person. And that personal development will pay benefits to you in all aspects of your life. So here, let me get this light out of my eyes. I'm sorry. 1 second. That's a little better. Ajay, how much time do we have today?
I respect your time, Jeff. So probably 20 to 25 minutes. We will take your time.
Okay.
If you have like little extra time, we can go for 25 or 30.
Okay. Okay. Just
Yeah.
let me know. I tend to be long-winded, so if I'm going too far, let me know. Who I am, Ajay, thank you for that introduction. That's an introduction into my business life. That's not the most important part of my life. Most important part of my life is really my family and relationships and people around me. Work provides a great avenue for me to learn and grow. Very appreciative of work for that. But I don't live to work, but I throw my life into the work that I do because it helps me evolve as a person. I'm a husband to my wife of 31 years. I'm a father to 3. I'm Zach's father. I'm a grandfather to 5. And I like to think I'm a friend to everyone. I reflect sometimes on what things I'm most proud of in my life. And I'd have to say that it's my proudest moments are the things that have to do with interpersonal relationships. And it typically involves helping others. Raising my children, I was very actively involved in raising my children, but I was also away a fair amount, traveling for my work. But I tried to make it so that when I was there with my kids, I was really there with them, giving them all that I have to offer. If I think strongly in the past about things that maybe have made me proud, that I'm proud to say, I think one thing that I'm very proud of is that that I have always really not cared too much about what other people thought about me when they were being critical of me or negative toward me, and held strong to my own core beliefs. I think I've always had this in me some. When I was in college, I was fortunate and I was on our college basketball team. I had a scholarship. There was a town drunk, a guy everyone made fun of. He had a crippled leg, crippled arm, walked funny, was drunk often. He was ridiculed by everyone. He was real friendly and would try to talk to everyone. But he had some things, that weren't quite right with him, but still he always tried to be friendly to everyone. And I think no one really knew his story, but this guy, Tubby Bates, was the best athlete in his high school. In his senior year, he was being offered scholarships in both basketball and baseball. And he was tragically involved in an automobile accident. And it disfigured him and it affected him mentally. And it drove him to drinking. So he became kind of the town drunk, the ridicule of all. He loved sports. Sports were a big part of his life as a child. And he loved to go to games, but he couldn't drive. He had no means of getting there. My senior year in college, I took Tubby Bates to every single basketball game that we played locally. I also brought a 10-year-old boy whose father had grown very ill and couldn't attend the games. He loved the games. As a matter of fact, we got him to sit on the bench with us. So I brought these two people to the games. There were some people who said, "Who's bringing the drunk? What's going on here?" And I said, "I do. I bring Tubby. And, he's not just a drunk. He's a good guy." To me, personal development is an activity that drives you to see the best in people. Okay? And it's through that effort of seeing the best in people that will drive you to be the best spouse you can be, the best friend you can be, the best boss you can be to other people. It will drive you to become a better person in all aspects of your life. So, I share that little story with you about Tubby, about this guy named Chris. I have many other stories. And look, I'm not trying to make myself out to be some great guy. I'm not. I don't spend nearly enough time helping others. I really don't. The time I spend now is mostly helping others, is mostly my family. So please don't take this as anything about me trying to give myself accolades. I share the story because it actually has a profound impact on me, and it is one of my proudest moments. I've learned in life that everyone has something to teach me. Everyone has something to teach me. Um, and sometimes I learn from their positive behavior, and sometimes I learn to not mimic their negative behavior. If I have a boss who's treating people rudely, I say to myself, okay, I see that and I see the consequences. So I need to learn to not be that. When someday I'm in that position, I need to learn to not be the rude person or the person who's exuding that behavior. And that doesn't mean I think badly about a boss or about anyone. I accept them for where they are. I remember I was taking a walk. I've been to India about 25 times now. I love India. I love the Indian people. I love the Indian culture. I love the Indian food. I find people from India tend to be very warm and welcoming and very friendly people. And probably I find most people of most races too to be the same way, because it's frankly how I choose to see people. It's how I choose to see life. I look for what's good in things, and I try to dwell on what's good, not what's negative or bad. Sure, people will say, oh, you get off the airplane in India and it stinks, or your eyes burn, or people will make these negative comments. And I say, really, I get off the plane in India and I see warm, friendly faces. I see people who are very friendly toward me, are reaching out to me, are interested in helping. That's what I see. Yeah, there might be some pollution. I don't care. I mean, I can look beyond that. You know, one time I was walking in India, and when I walk there, when I stay, I generally stay a long period of time, 2 to 4 weeks. So I've spent many, many months in India. No, I tend to walk very far, 3-4 hours at a time on weekends. I seek out the poorest neighborhoods and I walk through them. I want to see how people live. One time I was walking through a very poor area, and there were children standing on a garbage pile collecting recyclables in their bare feet. And I know you're not supposed to do this. I know everyone tells me not to, but those people that are trying that hard, I actually give them some money. And I'm not here to say, you know, I give a lot or something, but one time I was walking to the same garbage pile, and I had, I don't know, $40 US, so you can figure out what that is in rupees, but probably, you know, a couple, 2,000 or 3,000 rupees in my back pocket. And I was walking to that garbage pile, and a man came up from behind me. He had nothing. He said in very broken English, sir, you dropped this. All the money had fallen out of my pocket. It had fallen on the ground. This man was looking probably at many months' worth of wages, of money. He picked that money up. I didn't know I had dropped it. He brought all that to me and said, sir, you dropped this. I repeat that story to many people in the US because they need to, there are some people who don't understand that humanity has the best to offer from all people if we look for it. And I see it in the people. That man taught me a big lesson. I mean, it's easy to be generous. I mean, to give from your excess. To be so honest to return money that's rightly someone else's, but that, you know, that rich American doesn't need that money. Golly, I could take this money and do so much with it. But no, he had it in him to want to return the money. When I was in my early 30s, I really committed myself to a life of self-improvement. I began listening to audio tapes regularly. I started reading books. I started reflecting. I started meditating. I started doing things differently. At the time, probably Zach was just being born about then. I'm about 30 years older than Zach. I would get up at 5 a.m. I would start reading books. Remember the first one that I went through in earnest was Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. My approach to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits was I started reading it and I said, wow, this really has an impact on me. And instead of just reading the book and putting it down, I continued to get up at 5 a.m. every day, and I had a notepad, and I wouldn't let myself read more than 2 pages. And I would write down in the notes, what does this mean to me? How can I learn from this? How is this relevant to my life? And I would write these things down and think about them. To read the book this way took many, many weeks. I read it 3 times. So it wasn't just to read something and understand it intellectually, but rather it was to internalize it, to reflect upon it, to look at myself objectively and say, wow, how does this impact me? You know, not someone else, not pointing fingers at others, not saying, oh, everyone else could benefit from this because they all have these problems, but not me. No, it's me. I have these. Still have these. We all have these things to learn and grow. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. I would encourage you as you guys go through your practice to reflect, to take quiet time and to think about how do these things impact you, and not to be negative or critical. Like, I don't mean to turn it into something negative. I mean to turn it into something very positive for you, but to be honest with yourself about these. So please, as you read these books, don't just make them be something you can recite and understand intellectually, but not something that actually changes who you are. Because in the end, what really matters is that it changes you. Whether you can recite it or not, honestly, I cannot recite Stephen Covey's 7 Habits. But I can tell you I did my very best at the time to internalize them. And occasionally I'll go back to them and look and reflect as well. I think at that time I committed myself to a positive mental attitude. A positive mental attitude means adopting a belief. It is a choice. I choose to say that the things that happen to me in this life, whether I like them or not, happen to me for the best. And that this thing, whether it seems good or bad, if I lost my job, if something happened to me, this was meant to be. And I can choose to make this be something that has a profound positive impact on me, or I can choose to make this destroy me and eat me up and be something very negative. It's my choice. So throughout life, you'll be faced with things that will challenge you. I'm challenged regularly in my job. I'm challenged in my life. I have so much to learn and grow through. But I choose to see them as positives for me. In my work, I adopted what I call an owner mentality. When I was about this age, I said to myself, if I was the boss of the team that I work for, and if I looked at that as a small company and said, I own that company. What would I do differently? Have I thought about it? Thought about what I would do differently? And then I would take action. I take action on that. I define it. And look, my regular job in my life took me, all week to do. So on weekends is when I would give time for this. If I wasn't playing with the kids or doing something to help out, I was doing these things. I had notebooks that I kept at home about how to improve the company if I owned it, if I owned this team. This is what I would do. Well, I began bringing these things to my boss. I began writing training manuals and policy improvements, and my boss appreciated the changes I made. I did it in the humblest way, not in an arrogant way and not acting as if I know the answers, but that I humbly see things we could do better, and I would bring those to my boss. And naturally, I thought of how other groups could be impacted, but it was beyond my reach. One-time work, some consultants from one of the big consulting firms came and interviewed me at work. I said, "Why are you guys here?" They said, "The president of your company hired us to try to improve the company, and we're interviewing many people. We're just trying to gather data on how to improve things." I obviously had a lot of ideas that I shared with them. These ideas got escalated to the president of the company, and furthermore to the owner of the company. I'll cut the story short, but within 6 months I was working for the president, and within 2 years I was reporting to the owner of the company. Many people said, "Oh, Jeff, you just got lucky breaks," and I did. I got a lot of lucky breaks. Everything that's happened to me, I've been in the right place at the right time. I have. But that's not the end of the story. It's not just because I got the lucky break. It's because I was prepared. It's because I was trying. It's because I was working. That put me in a position to capitalize on the lucky break. And I can give many, many stories in my career, but I was promoted to president of that company. I had 600 people reporting to me. I didn't have any right to be the president of that company. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a great attitude and I sure tried hard. And I made a lot of mistakes. But we grew from 600 people to 2,200 in the next 5 years. We were wildly successful. Again, not because of me. I had a great team. We had great people. I was in the right place at the right time. Oh, many, many lucky things. But a lot of hard work and preparedness. So in my business life, I believe that luck does play a part in how we are promoted, but it's those who are prepared that will be able to capitalize on the luck. And by the way, please don't think that you should always be striving for the next job, for the promotion, for the highest rank. What you should strive for is doing something that you find meaningful, that stretches you to learn and grow. Find somewhere where you can contribute and where it brings you fulfillment to do the work. And you will have hardship. Boss will be unfriendly, people will be unappreciative. That's okay. You see, that's part of what makes you grow as a person. You should be thankful for those situations. You should give thanks for those hardships because they're helping to challenge you. If everything was easy, then this personal development, that journey you're under would be much, much harder. It's actually an easier personal development if you're faced with hardship. Oh, it's hard every day, yes. But life wasn't meant to sit on a beach with your feet up and say, I've arrived. There's no benefit, there's no joy, there's nothing in that. What's in it for you is really to evolve as a person. It's why we're here. Our evolution, in my belief, is why we're here. We were all created for some reason. And we all have our own journey and our own path. One thing that I did begin that time in my life too is I just as a practice, I began using a daily planner. I planned my day, planned my week, I planned my year. And I look at the daily planner every morning is how I start my day. What do I want to get done today? In my job, I've never looked at the clock and said, oh, I'm done. It's 8 hours. So then I must be done. But rather I'd look and say, well, did I get my tasks done? You know, if I owned this company, I would want to get the job done, not just the hours in. That attitude has done me a lot of well as well. I'll leave you with this. Gandhi has a quote. It says, live as if you were to die tomorrow and learn as if you were to live forever. I love that quote. Here's one my mom used to say to me. It's probably, my parents were German. You know, it's probably an old German phrase, I don't know. Pray as if all things depended upon God, and work as if all things depend upon you. And here's one last one that I've always found interesting, and these I find all of these a bit related. There was a type of Christianity that was a bit different in the US. It's called Shakers. The Shakers, they would shake when they prayed. It's how they got their name. The Shakers had a phrase, and what they said was, when you pray, move your feet. Now that has two meanings. First of all, they literally danced and shook and did things when they prayed physically. But it meant more than that. It meant don't just depend upon praying and that God is going to accomplish things for you. There's a phrase that God can do no more for you than you can do, than he can do through you. You help it yourself. You have to be part of the equation. So when you pray, move your feet. I think I'll leave it at that. That's what I had in my notes. There's many more stories I had written down, but they go pretty long. So you can see I'm quite emotional. These things I really believe in. I don't just say them. It's who and how I am. It's how I am as a leader. It's how I am as a person. It's how I am as a father. Zach's seen me cry many times. So that's all. It's a pleasure to be with people who are so interested in self-improvement. And I wish you all the best in your journey to personal evolution, evolving who you are as people. I'll pause there. I have plenty of time if you guys would like to ask any questions or anything. I don't know how much time you guys have.
Definitely. Thanks, Jeff, first of all. We really appreciate your time, and thank you so much for being with our group today. It is our pleasure, and I'm sure we got some good pointers how to take ownership in life if I were the company, or if I were the boss of that company. I mean, that is something that will always resonate with me. I mean, and with all the people who are in this group. And all great things. Being thankful, have a good mental attitude. That's what we talk about, and that's what we focus on here on this platform. We really read some great books, and I was talking to Jack that Seven Habits is one of the best book I have ever read, and internalizing that book is something we are striving for. So that's the reason we have decided that we will be bringing that book in this book club. And thank you for giving us a really good insight about your life, and encouraging us, to be the best what we could be. So with that, I would like to, request my team, if they have any questions, they can post and, get more benefited. Go ahead, and if anybody has any questions, anybody would like to know more about Jeff. I have privilege to meet him in person. I can go to Jack's house anytime, but you guys will not be having. So take utilize this. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about Jeff, what he does, I mean, you are most welcome. Anybody, Sakti, Pallavi, or Nilesh, or whoever. We have got 5 to 7 minutes of extra time. Hira, yeah, go ahead, Hira.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Hira. Hira is having some network issues. I have unmuted you.
I think he's having internet problem.
Exactly. Anybody else can ask if.
Yeah. So, hi Jeff. I just want to know
Hi.
that you talked about leadership and as a person and all the things I know in your profile also you have been manager, you have led a company of 600 employees. So what are the 3 qualities you will recommend a leader should have?
A leader should be humble. Okay, leaders must, first and foremost, they cannot be arrogant people. Leadership is not about standing in the front of the room and trying to get everyone to think that you're the best in the world or trying to impress others. That's not leadership. So humility would come at the top of the list. I think leaders must be aspirational. Leaders have to aspire to create something bigger and better for the organization and for the people in the organization. Those aspirations should be big. I mean, and I'm sure you guys are reading many things about setting big aspirational goals, whether you call them BHAGs, as Jim Collins calls them. And, I think leaders must be change champions. We live in a world where the world changes very fast. None of us can afford to rest on the past as a means to achieve future success. We have to change. Organizations have to change. Teams have to change. People have to change. For those of you on this call, it means probably your skill sets have to be updated real regularly, or you'll fall behind. Similarly, your company's value proposition and what they offer will have to be updated or improved or changed regularly. So I would say it's those 3.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Now I would like to pass to Hira. Hira, are you here? Yeah, he's there.
Good morning.
Hi. Hi, Hira.
Hi. After listening you and seeing you, I remember one sentence, one quotation that a reader lives many lives, but a person who doesn't read live only one life. After seeing you, I feel that same. I have a question. I saw that you have BS in physics, and after that you done your mechanical engineering, and now you are the president of a very good company, an organization. I just wanted to know how you did the energy of doing so many things in a proper way. From where you are getting the energy actually?
My energy comes from I think my energy comes from the love I receive from my children and those around me. I think that's the source of my energy. I think I tend to keep my life fairly simple too. There's not many aspects to my life. I do give a lot of time to my work. I give a bulk of the remainder of my life to my family and helping out, and then I give some to myself and to personal development and staying fit. But I don't try to do too many things. I keep my life fairly simple, and I try to live in a way where I'm proud of my own behaviors as best I can be. And I think then I don't have like big regrets and things. Oh, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but I think then it gives me strength then to engage. I mean, this morning I got up and I made French toast. We're taking care of two of my grandkids, not Zach's son, but two others, my wife and I got up early and made French toast, and then helped them get started eating it before this. That gave me energy. It just did. I mean, it was to go take, my grandson out of his crib and carry him down and talk to him and make food for them and help them eat. Gave me a lot of energy. So that's where my energy comes from. It's from there. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. I don't know all people have visited from the website Ajay has shared. I visited the website and I have submitted my resume also on that website.
Good for you. Thank you.
Thanks, Hira.
Hi, Jeff. Shakti this side. I have one question with you. So, what you basically like about Indian culture? So, which is the best place you like about India? What inspires you to visit India, right? Because most of Americans don't love India, but I think that you are very excited to visit India more often.
Yeah. It's the people more than anything. Yeah, I enjoy the food and things, but it's the people. I mean, people. I don't know. I have many friends that I work with regularly in India, and they work hard. They're friendly and they try their best, and I think I just really like. It's just there's a warmth of the people that I really enjoy. I would say it's that. It's many things other than that, but it's mostly that.
Which is the best place you have visited in India? Like
I
you
don't.
love the most?
Yeah, unfortunately, because my company is headquartered in Bangalore, and then we do have a major office in Trivandrum. So I've been to Bangalore 20 times probably. I've been to Trivandrum a couple times, Cochin once on vacation, and then for the day I've been to Pune, but in Hyderabad for a couple days this past spring. But I've not seen a whole lot of India. I mean, I've been to, some rural places up far in the north. So I can't comment on, knowing all the different towns and things. But I find it to be a very interesting place. Comprised of all these. Separate and very different languages, separate and different foods, and some differences in I think how people believe or what they practice and things. But by and large, there's also like a common thread that runs through all Indian people, and so there's this commonality that I also see, respect for and caring for elderly, And I think really caring for one another and just being warm and genuine people. So I see that very commonly in India.
What about the rainforest or the forest trip that we did? I think you like there. What's that? What was that area called?
Let's see. That's the south of Bangalore. And let me think here. Here, I'll find.
He saw some tigers in the wild and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
Kurg? No, not Kurg. I think Sundarban area probably. If it is Karnataka, right?
In Bangalore, there is a national park, Bangalore National Park, that is out of the city, and that is a very huge national park. I also been there, and there are lots of animals.
In the South India, it's like Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary.
Can anyone read that word?
No.
It's not visible clearly.
No, yeah, that's.
If you can send us
Nilgiri?
Nilgiri, yeah. I think Nilgiri.
Yeah, Nilgiri.
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 Okay, yeah, that's it.
The range of mountain, Nilgiri is the range of mountain in Karnataka.
Yeah, so the name of the park has many different names, but one is has the word Bengal in it. It's very near. It's very near a very famous tea place.
Ooty.
Very near
Munnar.
Uti. Very near Uti.
Ooty.
Yes.
Okay, Ooty.
Yes. The park is adjacent to Uti. Okay. So
Yeah.
that's where we went. Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Jeff, and this
Jeff,
is Radhima. I have few questions.
Yes.
Since 1.5 months before I joined this group, and I was not aware about how many changes I made in here, and seriously, I'm very excited when Ajay said in the morning there was your intro and all, and I was quite. I don't have that particular words. I was literally very excited to meet you, and when you were reciting all your stories and all, I imagine all these things, and literally first time it's. So my question is that how you managing all these things, because I have a little issue whenever I'm writing my goals for daily goals or weekly goals. So I'm not particularly fulfilling all those. Sometimes miss this and sometimes miss that. So how I'll manage that?
Probably I struggle just as much as you do. I don't get all my goals done. Sometimes it weighs on me that, oh man, I just really didn't get enough done today. This took twice as long as I thought. And then I'll have to, so I'll try to put in some extra time somewhere to try to get done. My time management, I try to, when I'm working, I try to work hard. But I share your maybe it's your frustration, but I have a frustration regularly, probably daily or weekly, that I'm not getting all my goals done, but it's okay. It means probably that I'm being a little more aspirational in my goal setting than I should be. Yeah, as long as I'm not committing to goals and letting others down, okay, then it's okay. But to the extent that I promised other people that I'd have something done by a day, at a certain time, then either I must meet that commitment, or I must tell them that I'm sorry, but I cannot meet that commitment. It's taking longer than I thought, and I would ask if you could extend the date some. I owe it to my audience or to my stakeholders to do that, not to just miss a date. But I don't get, My planner is in Excel, and the reason it's digital in Excel is because I move things regularly, things that I wanted to get done for the week and didn't get done. But I did get my top items done. And just, you know, how to plan, the approach to planning, and the level of detail of planning is like a whole separate conversation. This is a major part of my work practice, and I'm going to be happy to share it with you guys in some future date, because I have a lot of learnings about that, I think. But do I get everything done? No, I do not. Yeah.
I think Jeff, that's right. Like if we are not able to get everything done, that means that we are doing some ambitious goal setting, which is good for some reason. One thing that stands out with me personally, as you said about apologizing as a leader, you know, that is something all the people in this group are trying to learn. Like we commit to the challenges and we don't, you know, either complete it or either apologize it. So I think this will be a message for all of us, you know, to as a leader, take the personal accountability. If for some reason, if we are not able to get it done, you know, there is no harm in apologizing that, hey, I was not able to complete these things because of this commitment. No one is going to, you know, ask us questions. Some of us are doing it, but for a lot of people, I think a majority of us have to learn that path actually, that when we are not getting things done, it's our duty to step forward and say the reason why we were not able to get it done. Because in business world or everywhere, I mean, whatever I have learned from people whom I met, like Kiran or everybody, that when you are in a business, people will only trust you when you commit, and you complete it. That is how you get your business. That is how you get your clients. And your message, Jeff, was able to reinforce that. And I'm sure we'll be having that learning. So with that, I have one question which Asutosh wanted to ask Jeff. He is right now traveling in a bus, and he's in a noisy setting. So he wrote a question, and I'm trying to understand what his question is, and he needs answer for it. So let me give you a little bit of background about who Asutosh is. Asutosh is a sales manager in Gujarat, India, and he is working as a sales manager. So he deals with a lot of people with a different personality. So his question is, what are some of the techniques or tips would you like to recommend him if he's going for a company, he's going to a company for a price negotiation. So for example, if he's going to GE, right? If he's going to Procter and Gamble, right? Then how he should negotiate, you know, on the price so that he, you know, people can buy his product. That is where he's struggling it. Correct, Asutosh? I don't think he can affirm that also because he's in a bus.
Well, that's a very
yeah,
long
so exactly. That's a question actually from him.
I'll try to give just a brief answer because, look, no one succeeds every time at this. And if you're negotiating with GE, you're up against the toughest of the tough companies. And I have negotiated with GE many times and with many other large companies like them. This has been a part of my job for the last 20 years. First of all, in any price negotiation, you have to understand, and the customer has to understand, how your products and services are differentiated. You may think you understand that, but do they believe that your products and services are indeed different than your peers? To the extent that, look, your customer, imagine this scenario. Your customer needs to buy water. They're in a desert and they're thirsty. There's one stand set up. It's yours. You're the only one selling water. Okay? You can probably command a pretty decent price there. But if you command too high of a price, they'll never buy from you again if they have an opportunity. So you have to be fair in what you charge them, but you are in a position where you have a differentiated offer. You're the only one selling water. Now imagine that same customer, that same thirsty customer comes up and there's 20 stands and they all have the same water. It's all exactly the same. And there's more water than the customer needs to buy. And you say, I want a premium. You can't get a premium. You don't have a differentiated offer. So you must understand what it is that the customer values about your customer, about your products and services uniquely. And it's not just for you to understand this, that's irrelevant. It's for them to understand it. Now, how would they understand and believe it if they heard it from their own staff? So now, prior to the rate negotiation, you have to turn back the clock. You have to get way many months out in front of it. And you have to be talking to your customers that are down lower level than the rate negotiation, saying, look, if you like what we have to offer, please be sure that others are aware that we're offering a very good service. Because without that, we may not be able to continue to offer this service because it costs us more of a premium as well to offer this level of service. So I think just one aspect of this is understanding and getting your customer to understand differentiation of your products and services. There's many, many more things beyond that, but I can't go into all that.
Thanks, Jeff, for giving a beautiful answer, and definitely Asutosh got something to work on, and it will really help him. If anybody has any last or some questions, I appreciate your time.
Jeff,
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeff, I have one last question.
Yeah.
So you have been working since last 30 to 40 years, right? So you might have changed. There is a revolutionary change in technology side, right? When you were in college, there was no Facebook, no Instagram, right? So how you are seeing, how business will get, with technology coming in future, how business will get completely changed, right? We have SAP and all the big applications coming nowadays. So you have seen the all changes, right? Technology being implemented in every organization. So how you are able to adapt these changes and how you see the future of business?
Well, I guess for me personally, the reason I was late is because I had trouble with my Apple getting it to work right. So it looks like, I'm struggling, I guess, to keep up with the technology. But as I had said earlier about change management, and it affects both companies and us as individuals, none of us can be content with the knowledge that we have today. That the world will pass us by very rapidly. You're a generation younger than me. You're living through this change where I think I've read where the skills that we all have every 4 years now need to be relearned, need to be replaced with the latest skills. So that means that more than ever, your life as an individual is a journey of learning, okay? And it also means that for companies, it's a journey of learning as well. And the companies that don't embrace change, that don't have leaders who embrace change, will fall behind, and then they'll go out of business and the employees will go elsewhere. This is a beautiful thing because again, I mentioned that my personal belief is we're all here to evolve as people. That's what I believe why we came here. I think we're here to evolve, to become fuller human beings, and the biggest meaning of that. And the way that you can get there is by being put in situations may make you uncomfortable, but that either you're going to step up or you're going to be bypassed. So, you know, those challenges that life throws your way. And so as technology changes rapidly, you guys really will need, I mean, my career's probably 5, 6 more years or something, but you guys have, you know, another 30 years in front of you. So you'll need to just continue what you're doing. The fact that you're all here and that you're wanting to change, to have personal development, to evolve as humans, it shows that you have a willingness to commit your own personal time to this. And that willingness will take you a long, long way. You know, you don't have to be the best in the world at things for your job and for others, for things to proceed well. For your job, you really just have to be better than the other options that your bosses have. So if you're trying your hardest, and yeah, I'm not getting all my daily goals done, not getting all this done, but if you're trying your hardest and you're trying to evolve and you're trying, you know, then you're probably going to be, you know, amongst the upper part of your peers, which from your own career perspective, if you look at it that way, would be good. Yeah.
All right. I think anybody has any last question? Just one last question, or we are good. Can I ask? Yeah, Jeff, we have a person, Deepak Raj, you wanted to ask. Can I ask this question? Yeah, go ahead, Deepak. Good question. Or maybe I can ask a question on his behalf. We have a student, Jeff, who is still in his high school, and he want you to give a recommendation that if you were in his age right now, then what would you do? That is his question.
I would say if I was in high school, what would I do? Okay. I think that I would give a lot of thought to what I like to do, but not just what I like to do. Okay, you may like to play music, but probably playing music will be very difficult from a career perspective to support yourself unless you're extremely gifted. So what you like to do that lends itself toward what jobs there may be out there, and spend some of your free time learning about jobs and what they do, what different people do in different jobs, and begin focusing your energy toward your strengths and toward areas where there are actual careers where you could get a job. You're going to be facing college soon. So I would say, and more so that, the India system is more competitive than any in the world. It's quite challenging to get into the India universities. You don't have to get into an IIT school to get a good job. You don't have to be the top of your class. But you do have to try your hardest. So try hard. Have a direction, understand what you're good at, and apply yourself at that. Believe in yourself and give it your all. And believe that things will work out for you, because they will. But you'll have to choose a journey or a path. And it's okay to change that path, but try to stick with it and stick through it. It will be extremely hard and challenging. College is very hard. For me, it was the most challenging part of my life, I would have to say, was getting through my studies. That's another story in and of itself. But I was a full-time student at 2 universities at once for reasons I don't want to get into here. And I wasn't hardly even able to sleep. I was working so hard. But I had a direction, I had a goal. I committed myself to it, and I tried my very, very hardest And I think I was surrounded by people much smarter than me. That's okay. I always have been, I still am. It's okay. Um, but what matters most is my attitude, my willingness, my drive. Those are things in my control. I can't control my IQ. I am what I am. I accept it and I move forward. But you do need to have a direction. So begin looking at where there are jobs, in what kinds of areas. Are you good at science and math? If not, does marketing kind of things apply to you? How does, medicine is extremely hard to get into in India. So I don't know what you're good at. I don't know what you're interested in, but choose something that you can succeed in and really give it your all then. And things will work out for you. There's a phrase, you'll have to listen to it twice. Things work out the best for those who make the best of the way things turn out. Might want to write it down. Things work out the best for those who make the best of the way things turn out. So let's say you don't get into a top tier school or a second tier school, even you're at a third tier school. Okay, things, that's just where it is. It's okay. Many companies hire specifically from schools that are not top tier. And what they look for is the people who tried hard in there, the people with a good attitude. And so if you keep the attitude good, if you work your hardest, and look, don't evaluate yourself by comparing yourself to others. How much money do they have? What title do they have? None of that matters. You're not them. This is not a game of competition. This is a journey for you. So you choose a path and pursue it in earnest, but give a lot of thought to the path you're choosing.
Thank you, Jeff. And I'm sure Deepak must have got some great advice and learning. And I'm pretty sure all of us in this group, especially like my peers like Pallavi, Sakti and all, none of us have got this kind of advice when we were in high school, trust me. So I feel like Deepak should be much appreciative that we have this kind of platform, and still he's in younger high school, so he can get a lot of benefited, from this group. That's the reason we are like striving for people, and we always encourage for personal development, and we call great guests, like you, and we had Kiran and a lot of people. So at the end, Jeff, I know words are not enough for us to thank you for the time which you have spent this morning with us. It has been a really pleasure for all of us. And we have a tradition of when we invite some guests, then we do something for them. It's a kind of token of appreciation from my end personally. So for you, what I have decided is I will talk with Zach, and I will set up some time on your calendar to have a lunch with you, in an Indian restaurant or any restaurant of your choice, whatever food cuisine. And that is a kind of love from my end, to say thank you. And and to learn more from you about the personal development, and we will bring all those learnings on this platform. So I will work with Zach, and thanks once again for joining with us today.
Great. Thank you, Ajay. I appreciate that. Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure to be with you. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. We had a great time, and we had great learnings from you.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Yeah. Namaste. Thanks.
Namaste.
Thanks, Jeff, and thanks, Zach. All right. I will let everybody go now. And sorry, I suppose you had something. All right. Thank you, everybody.
No, Jay, clear.
Thanks, everyone. So long.
Yeah, it has been pleasure for having Jeff here, and thanks everybody. Have a great rest of the night in India, and great day, Jeff and Zach. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
And bye.